Hi, I'm PlasmaMuffin from the hit YouTube channel, the PlasmaMuffin YouTube channel at youtube.com/PlasmaMuffin, and I'll be your YouTuber today. This is the easiest way to beat the Empires of the Undergrowth bonus level adventure on impossible difficulty. To get to it, you click play, arcade, extra levels, and adventure. Now this is a very long level, so I'm going to be speeding up parts of it, both in the editing and also I'm using Cheat Engine to change the speed of the game itself. It doesn't affect the gameplay at all, it just makes it take less time. Alright, first thing we do, dig out a small alcove there for some workers to go. Dig out a little area for refuse, and dig over to this food. Turn off food gathering and combat for the crown workers, or rather the nest workers, which we're going to build some more of now. Make 2 refuse tiles. Put 3 food tiles halfway between the food and the queen. Otherwise it will take a very long time to actually collect the food. So we need to get strong enough to kill this whip spider so we can go outside. This is baby whip spider. So we need to gather this food here and have the refuse here, and these guys are going to be doing nest jobs. You have to have ants doing nest jobs, because if all of them are fighting the spider, then you won't be able to respawn enough. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be fighting the spider with workers, because you kind of have to do that. So if you're not familiar with this level, it is sort of like an RPG. You level up as you kill enemies and complete objectives, and leveling up allows you to create stronger units, and also gives your units special abilities and things. So we're just going to be surrounding our queen with worker tiles, but before we kill the whip spider, we're just going to make 7. So I do 2 nest workers and 7 ants around here, and I will combine those 7 ants with the 7 ants that I start with, and we will have combat and food gathering turned on most of the time for them. Alright, now that we've had some time to get everyone spawned in, we're going to make a 2 wide opening up to the whip spider. It has to be 2 wide. Well, it doesn't have to be, but that's what I've had the most success with. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the whip spider to get a little bit closer, then we're going to move everyone behind him, and once they're all behind him, we will turn combat on, because he has an area of effect ability with his little grabbers, and if we have all our ants on one side, then they'll all get hit by it every time, but this way, he'll only hit about half of them. And he is 1 starred, so that makes him stronger. Alright, we've finished that. Now we open up the entrance and make 2 food storage tiles right here, near the entrance. Now we are going to get all of our ants to group up here at the entrance, and we're going to send them out here to the bottom right. We have food gathering on, combat off. We're just trying to gather enough food so we can afford to actually stick around and fight these guys. And of course, these guys want to join the fun as well. But we're just going to head back inside. And now that they've left, we're going to go back out and get a little bit more food. This has the music from The Harvest, which is great, because that's one of my favorite songs in the game. Alright, that should be enough food. So I'm just going to sit and wait a little bit for my food to process. Because I need to make sure I have enough to respawn. Alright, that should be enough. So let's head back to the entrance. The reason I'm grouping up the entrance first is so all of them leave the nest at once. That way they'll be able to overwhelm the enemy instead of having to trickle in one by one. And now we're fighting these guys. Wait until these guys are far away from your nest entrance before you attack, because otherwise they will join and you will probably lose. As you can see, we killed one of them and it gave us XP. That's good. A little annoying that this guy got to really low health and then stopped being hurt. So I'm just gonna keep attacking. Actually, no, I'm gonna bring everyone back inside because we're outnumbered and we're not doing too hot. So wait for everyone to group up again, and then go out and finish off the remaining beetles. Level 2, minor +5 leaf harvest. So now we can harvest leaves faster. I'm gonna real quick just take out these two dudes. So these are our objectives. You want to get as many of them early on as possible. Alright, so now while we harvest those leaves, I'm going to make a media chamber to put our media in. And I'm gonna dig out a little bit of that area there. We only have 2 workers doing nest jobs, so it might take a while. Gonna make a couple more food storage tiles so they don't have to go all the way to the center of the nest in order to get the food. And I'm now going to put all of my starting workers, the crown workers, in the default slot so they can do the nest jobs. I'm now going to get some more workers. We're going to want 30 workers total. We'll make 31, but that's not required. It's just because I like having... I like making my ant nest tiles in an aesthetically pleasing position. Also going to make some more fungus tile or garbage tiles. Minor +20 health. So we can fight these guys, but we want to level up as much as we can before then, so we take fewer casualties. So now we just wait. So the first real issue and the biggest issue that makes this level hard is the enemy leafcutter colony, because they will attack you at about 15 minutes in, I think. I'm not using a timer because it's not particularly important for this level, but it does, did you attack at roughly the same time every time you do the level. Almost got enough workers for the achievement. Want to make sure that our refuse stores are big enough. We want to keep roughly as much refuse storage as we have food storage. At least that's usually what I do. Alright. There's the last ones. We're going to get that ability, or that thing. Minor +1 attack damage. Now is the time to attack. We're going to go up here and fight these guys. If you wait until you get the +1 to attack, then this fight is so much easier. That's why I did that. Keep them away from the velvet worms. That would not be good. Got the 3-star down. So now we're pretty much set for the next few minutes, at least. Unlocked media. Excellent. Gonna make some more storage tiles. So once we have like 2 or 3 media, we're going to attack the velvet worms. We're going to send our media in first because they're strong enough to tank the goo attack a bit. And so we're going to bait out all 3 of them to do their goo attack, and then we're going to send in the workers to finish them off. And we definitely need more garbage tiles. If you're having trouble processing food quickly, you probably need more refuse tiles. That's usually the case. Now I could be just upgrading these one at a time so that so that I only have a couple ants that get sick from being in it, but it's not a huge issue in my experience. Doing pretty good. I want to keep upgrading our food stores, because if our ants have to go all the way over here to deposit food, then it'll slow our growth a lot, and we don't want that, obviously. Now we're going to just clear out this area, and then we'll head back over to the velvet worms. The map, by the way, will expand over time. So right now I can't go any further down than this, but I will be able to do that later. Alright, that should be enough to fight the velvet worms. Get everyone gathered up here. And send in the media. Alright, they all should have used up their ability by now, so let's send in the workers to finish them off. Media plus 20 health, that's good. Looks like we're not going to be able to kill them fast enough to prevent them from gooing us again, but hopefully we can kill at least one of them. Yeah, see, there we go. Got gooed again. Guess you could say get gooed. I'm sorry. That was terrible. Alright. Gonna make some more media. I want to get at least 9. But probably more than that. Like maybe 10 or 11. And I also want to start making some majors as well. We currently cannot get majors, but we will shortly. So I'm going to clear out an area for them. Pick that up. All right, I have 9. I am going to make another one. So you'll know that these guys are about to attack when they're harvesting this bush there. And I think I'll just wait for majors to become available for now. And stockpile food. You should be able to harvest from here, mostly without worrying about the velvet worm too much. So I'm just storing food so I can get enough to make majors when I unlock them. I don't want to get rid of this completely, because if I do, then the enemy leaf cutters will go up here to get food instead of over there, and I want them to go to the left so they fight the velvet worm. Alright, so I accidentally harvested all of this. I didn't think it was going to do that, but that's okay. Keeping my workers, or my media over here. And I might as well get some more media, because I'm actually full on food right now. That's how you know this strategy works. You have so much food you can't store it all. Honestly, they're taking a lot longer to attack than I thought they would. But I suppose it's technically a good thing. It's just irritating. Alright, here we go. Now we're going to get attacked. So, we're going to fight here because we don't want them to get too far. We don't want to fight too far up here, because if we do, then we'll get too close to this group and they'll join the fight, and we don't want that. So I should be able to afford majors soon, once we level up a bit more. Media +2 armor, that's good. Yeah, there's quite a lot of food you can harvest before the enemy colonies show up. And yes, we are having our workers help fight. Yep, see, they're going over that way. I was hoping that I could get them to go over here to fight the Velvet Worm, but unfortunately that did not work out. So what's going to happen is they're going to bring in majors to invade our nest. So check their nest periodically, and when you start seeing majors come out of it, that's when you need to... oh, they triggered a harvestman, and it's just running away. It's booking it. Once you start seeing majors come out, then you need to head back inside your nest and prepare for being invaded. So I can usually get 1 major for the nest invasion, sometimes 2. I have gotten 3 before, but you don't really need that. And it might be better just to focus on having enough food for respawns. So we're just harassing them until they stop being able to collect food, and we're basically just going to starve them out. Alright, so now we can choose between taunt and stun majors. Definitely use taunt, they are objectively stronger. And I'm going to make 3 of them. It's just going back and forth between here and their nest. And as soon as we see mages, we need to turn combat off and bring everyone to the nest entrance. Major +100 health. We're practically unstoppable now. Major +5 damage. That is, of course, good. Still waiting for their majors to show up. Still waiting. I think the reason it's taken longer than normal is because I'm not used to them. I'm used to playing this level on, like, 150% speed just because it takes so long otherwise. Okay, now their majors are showing up. Now, since we have 3 majors, a bunch of soldiers, and a bunch of media, we should be perfectly fine. We also have almost 700 food, which is quite a lot. Venom resist isn't particularly useful against leaf cutters, but it will be helpful later. Alright, now we're going to bring our newly spawned workers down here, ants down here, because it looks like a group of media came in with the soldiers, yeah, and they'll attack you. But if you retreat and they stop seeing you, then they'll leave your nest. I got turned off combat for the soldiers. Dang it. Just pulled a shepherd's pie. But hey, even with that, still works. So at some point, the mages are going to turn back, and at that point, we are pretty much completely safe from the leaf cutters, and we shouldn't have to worry about them anymore. Yeah, we're just spawn killing them. It's pretty great. I'd recommend having at least 300 food for respawns, ideally 400 or more. But you can probably get by with less than that. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the game because this is taking quite a while. Yeah, this isn't even a challenge. Okay, looks like they're fleeing now. That's good. So at this point, we should be perfectly safe. And we can mug them on the way back and get some food. Alright, so now we have the option between durable and shockproof. Take shockproof. It is 100% necessary here because it's not particularly useful against the ants, but it's going to be incredibly useful against the titans, the large creatures. Alright, so now we have defeated the leaf cutters. They're still alive, but they don't have food, and so they're going to be too scared to come out and fight us. So now we can just gather as much food as we like. Oh, looks like they did go over here and fight the velvet worm. That's excellent. I'm going to make more media so we can gather food faster. Speed the game up just a little bit more. Now it's at double speed. At least it's not like tug-of-war. That level, those levels take forever. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. You can go over here and get that food without triggering these guys. So, do that. Alright, so now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my majors inside so when the trapjaws start attacking, I can immediately defend from them and give my other ants time to return to the nest. Trapjaws should attack us. Sometimes they take forever to do that as well. See, look, these guys, they're run to our nest, but then they immediately turn around and go back. So we don't have to worry about them. There are a lot of trapjaws up there. Alright, well the trapjaws are taking their sweet time, so we're going to go ahead and just invade them first. Turn off food gathering for everybody. Oh. They heard me say that, now they're attacking. It is generally better to fight them inside your nest, but we should be okay here. Minim's plus 50 speed, that'll make it so we can process food faster, which is excellent. So now we're going to do the same thing with the trapjaws that we did with the leaf cutters and just slowly whittle them down through attrition, which is a fancy word for wearing down the resources that they can't replenish and slowly weakening them until you can defeat them. You can wait for a big group of them to leave the nest and then run in while they're distracted, but it's generally safer and easier to do it this way. Now we have the option between sharp and resilient. I'm going to go with sharp because a lot of enemies in this level do a ton of damage, so I think that's probably the best. And now look at that, we've gotten rid of all the trapjaws, just about. That was very easy. And we are taking down the queen. Now the enemy colonies do drop food, their tiles drop food after you defeat them, but it's not really worth bothering to collect right now. So instead of trying to harvest that, we're going to go outside because that's a lot more efficient. So we can harvest down here now. But every about every minute it will flood. And once the waters recede, then you have about 1 minute to leave before the water comes up again, and it will instantly kill any ant that's down there. So we're going to be waiting just a little bit. Alright, so now that we have a full group of majors, we are going to start upgrading them. A group of leafcutter majors upgraded to level 3 is practically unstoppable. So just to give you a preview of some of the stuff we're up against here. We have a 4-star whip spider, every mantis and cricket on the planet, beetles, more crickets. And we're going to go ahead and kill these guys, get a little extra free XP. Yeah, they are not doing too good. Unlock worker ability Efficient Brood. So now our workers will be faster. That's good. Alright, we're now going to prepare to harvest in the floodplains. So we want to wait until right after the water recedes, and then we're going to go in. I'm not going to use a timer or anything. I'm just going to gather a bunch of food and then leave as quickly as possible. Alright, excellent. Got that done. Get more upgrades. And now that we've sent all of our workers, or all of our ants in there, we can return and wait for the next time to harvest. A couple enemy leaf cutters, it seems, that haven't died yet. You really don't want to lose soldiers to the water, because you will lose so much food if you lose majors or even media. And it looks like we need to make bigger food stores because we have a lot of food. So now we're basically just going to be going for the weakest enemies first. And right now, that's these guys. Well, I don't know if these are the weakest enemies, but they're guarding food, and I want that, so... So at this point, we've pretty much won the game. It's, there's not really much left that can challenge us, because at this point, it's basically like New Home. You'll only get attacked by things that you attack. Huh. Never noticed this plant before. Interesting. Wonder what kind it is. Alright, now I'm going to go invade the jumping spiders. Alright. I have finished upgrading my majors, so we are going to go ahead and attack the spiders now. Not going to send my workers in right now because they'll probably just die instantly and lose us food. This guy's really not that difficult. Just takes a little bit of time to defeat. It is really hard to click on him when he's in the group of ants. There we go. That took a while, but we got there in the end. Alright, we have Royal Guard or Royal Decree. Royal Guard is better. The only difference is that Royal Decree gives you 20 seconds of free respawns instead of 5, but you don't get the extra strong ants that Royal Guard does. And honestly, it takes long enough for the eggs to respawn that 15 extra seconds of free spawns isn't really going to help all that much. Started work on another major chamber, and we're going to now clear out all these row of beetle larvae. See, we're not going to go up here quite yet because these guys are a little too tough and I want to get a bit stronger first. The stronger you are before a combat encounter, the less ants you'll lose, and therefore the more food you'll have total, and the better you'll do in the level overall.
The ants must fight.
Level 26. Workers no longer encumbered while carrying. That will speed up our harvest speed quite a bit, which is great. Because this level, it takes a while, as you can probably tell. It usually takes around an hour to complete. But we're sort of doing a speed run with the game sped up like this. Alright, looks like the next course of action is fighting off the army ants. Going to need our entire force ready to fight at the exact same time, because the army ants are kind of tough. But if worse comes to worse, then we can have Royal Guard save us. This is where the sharp aura comes in real handy. Majors, plus 50% attack speed. That's really good. Unlock Super Major, level 28. So now we have access to a super powerful ant. That is exactly what its name would imply. It's a Super Major. Do not make that. It's very tempting. If you're on an easier difficulty, you can go ahead and make it. But do not make it if you're on Impossible. Because 2,000 food to place, 1,000 food to hatch. And it doesn't have near enough health to justify that cost. So to respawn it after it dies, you'll have to take a total of 4,000 food from building the tile to respawning it, and that is not worth it at all. And we triggered this guy. I sent them to go over here and harvest, but some of them took the long way around, and we are now in combat. But that's fine. We should be okay. It's only a level 10, a 10-star whipped spider. Nothing to worry about. It really is nothing to worry about. We're doing really well. There isn't a way to see all the level upgrades you've gotten, unfortunately. Be nice if you could, because you might forget exactly where you are in upgrades, but I will. Alright, time to attack the worm. Probably should have waited for... Probably should have sent my workers in to get to bait out the attack before sending in all my soldiers, but it's fine. We're at the point where we're strong enough we can afford to make a few mistakes. Unlock Super Major Weaken. So if you do decide to use a Super Major, I've never succeeded on Impossible difficulty with it. In fact, I don't even know if I've managed to succeed with it even on normal difficulty. It's not good. But basically it has abilities that you can use manually. So you can choose to activate these. Weaken will reduce the attack speed of enemies near the Super Major and make them take more damage.
The ants must defend themselves.
Oh. And stuns all the enemies near the Super Major. You could probably guess that. Fun fact. If you look at the majors here, you'll see that their R is actually a square. It's just that the square is invisible most of the time. It's only visible if they're like behind plants like that. or behind other background objects. Don't tell the
The ants
devs.
must
I
defend
don't want them to
themselves.
fix it. It's actually kind of fun. That's the thing. I'm okay with bugs in games, if they're fun. It looks like we're doing a little bit more damage per second than we actually are because I've sped up the level speed. So it's not they're not quite that powerful. Alright. It's time to attack the Southern Rise. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice the mantises. I like how the camouflage is actually good in this game. Because a lot of times, there'll be camouflaged enemies in games that are painfully obvious, like mimics in Terraria. Alright, so we're going to send in workers to bait these guys out. Get them over here, and then swarm them. Once you've triggered enemies, they'll actually go all the way to your nest. If you let them. See, they're still coming out. They won't just stand there. So, if you want, you can actually bait them over to your nest and then fight them in your nest entrance to make things a little bit easier. Alright, let's see if we can just get the beetles to attack us and not the crickets. Not optimistic, but we will find out eventually. There we go. I forgot I still had food gathering on for them. Okay, well, one of them made it through. There we go.
The battle has begun.
Excellent. Looks like we managed to get all of the beetles and none of the crickets. Very good.
The battle has begun.
Alright, so hopefully at least a couple of them will have had their attacks baited out, so we don't have to worry about them too hard. Alright, we finally have access to this little bit up here. And let's see if I can get it without triggering these mantises. Looks like I can. Excellent. We're almost done with the level. We just have to clear out the mantises, and then we have to do the final boss fight. Oh, I didn't even collect all this food up here. I forgot about that. Alright, well, cool. We can go get that. By the way, I upgraded the second major chamber fully. It might actually be worth not sending in my media or workers to the fight with the mantises, because they can't actually pick up and eat majors, so they won't be able to use them to heal. That is not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. There we go. Alright, just need to bait them out into leaving here, and we can obliterate them. This is what this looks like in normal speed, by the way. We're still doing quite a lot of damage. It's like 800 damage per second or something. Alright, now for the boring part. We have to unearth all the underground enemies. And I'm going to be doing them multiple at a time, because otherwise this will take forever.
The ants must defend themselves.
Got a bunch of baby rove beetles. 9-star green rove beetle. That's going to do a lot of damage. Fortunately, we are also very strong. While we do this, I'm actually going to make some more media because I want to grow my colony to 100 creatures, and workers aren't going to be very helpful at this point in the level, and I don't want to spend the money on... I don't want to spend the food for majors.
The ants must.
We already killed that guy? What happened? He just keeled over and had a heart attack. Alright, well, I'm not complaining. Alright, almost done here. One more. Oh. Those guys are still there. Thought I killed them all. Whatever. Alright, now, clear the infested nest. That is our next goal. The infested net, it took me so long to find this the first time I played this level. But it's just right here. It's right next to your nest. Alright, we don't want to go all the way in immediately. These big rocks or mushrooms or whatever they are, that's cool. Alright, I'm going to go to the right first. I want to kill the weaker ones first, even though it would actually probably make no difference, honestly, at this point. But, we will go for the weaker ones first, because why not? Can't hurt. Let's turn combat off and then back on once we've surrounded this guy. I don't remember if I've already unlocked it or if I get it later, but there is an ability that makes your media have an area of effect lifesteal, so they heal themselves and allies when they hit enemies, just like the Matabele ants. The upgraded Matabele ants, that is, when they've been upgraded with royal jelly. Alright, now I go over here, and there's a lot of Ubers. I don't know, when it has the star symbol, but next to it is a plus sign instead of a number. I'm not sure exactly how strong that is. Man, this guy's a tank. Yeah, as you can see, we're losing quite a bit of food here. But we should be able to win. Yeah, imagine how little food we have if we were using the super major. By the way, if the game just starts lagging a lot, close the creature menu here. Because for some reason it causes the game to lag. And also, again, when fighting big mantises, you want to only fight them with your majors. 500 health and 12 DPS. Melee attack damage 27, that's quite a bit. Hey, I can't help but notice that he's healing. Oh, it's because I have a couple media that got a little too close. Dang it. Oh, whatever. And I'm actually going to bait out an attack with my workers for the crickets because of their area of effectability. Spiny Devil. So the reason I'm using Taunt Majors, this is a bit late, but the reason I'm using Taunt Majors is because they, if you don't know, when they taunt enemies, it not only attracts enemies to them, to attack them instead of other ants, but it also heals them slightly. And then at level 3 they have the much higher defense against everything. So you notice it's getting a little laggy. I close that, no lag. And I'm losing a lot of food. I don't remember this going so badly. Alright. Now, we just need to take out the velvet worms. As always, we're going to bait out their attack.
The battle has begun.
And then send our main force in. Hey, I just baited out your attack. I'm not sure why you're doing it again, but okay. And we're going to attack the Uber Velvet Worm inside our nest. So we're going to lure him out. And then bring him inside. I'm going to put my workers just outside, so he wastes his spray on them. We're out of food, but that's okay because we still have Royal Guard. So yeah, this took like 30 or 40 minutes, even with speeding things up. And I will further edit the video down from there. So yeah, this is why I wanted him to enter the nest. Yeah, Royal Guard is a nice little fail-safe for if everything goes bad. Yeah, see? Go back to normal speed, and we'll dig out some of these tiles so we can surround him easier. Man, that spray is nasty. Yeah, I don't know why that menu lags the game up so bad. Hey, we're still dying here. I'm gonna be honest, this is not what I expected. Perhaps I should have recycled some of my tiles. Okay, so, important note. Recycle some media or worker tiles if you need food to respawn, because you need to have food to respawn. Make sure not to sell any tiles that have fungus combs on them, which means that they have food stored in them. And if you delete them, then you don't get the food back. You just get the food from recycling the tile. So that's how you beat the level. Hopefully this helped. Let me know what other levels you want me to cover, and any other videos you want me to make. And that's it. Outro words, bye.